Hello, good evening.
How's everyone doing out there tonight?
How's it going, guys?
All right, we are live. My name is John Gardner. This is my law partner and wife, Radlin Mendoza. And today is February 8th. It's Wednesday, and we are the immigration law firm Gardner and Mendoza. We come to you every Wednesday night from 8 o'clock until 9 o'clock, although we won't be here next Wednesday. Quick reminder.
Wednesdays, every Wednesdays, usually.
Every Wednesday, from 8 o'clock until 9 o'clock. And we come here to give you immigration updates. And most importantly, we like to answer your questions. We know that you have immigration questions. We are an immigration law firm, so we have answers to those questions. However, I will caution you that what we do here is for informational and educational purposes only. It is not legal advice. I also want to say hello to all of our TikTok folks over here. So we simulcast. We're on Facebook Live.
Hey, guys.
We are also on TikTok. And so you'll see me looking over here a lot. I'm not daydreaming. I'm actually just looking at all the TikTok questions coming through. So that's what I'll be monitoring tonight. All right. How's everything?
Awesome. Here's a little pro tip for folks on TikTok. First off, thank you guys for following, and y'all on Facebook and Twitter and YouTube. Thank you for following us. And for you guys on TikTok, thank you for watching my videos and supporting and asking questions in the comments. But the tip is to come over to Facebook. We're at Gardner Mendoza Law, and ask your questions in the comments here, because we can see the whole question, the whole question, and it's just easier. And we go back and forth, and there are fewer questions on Facebook, so you might have a better chance of getting your question answered if you go on Facebook. And also want to remind everyone here, we also have a Facebook group. It's called Live, Love, Immigration. If you want to join that, just let us know and we will send you the link. But you could also search for it under Live, Love, Immigration on Facebook. So
right. So we got some people over here saying hello back. We've got somebody saying that they just set up an appointment. That was a very wise decision.
All right. Hooray.
So just
I'll
briefly,
be seeing you soon then.
While we wait for some of the questions to load up here, our office is physically located in Virginia Beach, Virginia, which is on the East Coast of the United States. But we do have clients all over the country, all over the world. I mean, we're an immigration law firm, so of course, and we can do everything virtually. In fact, we do everything virtually. So wherever you are, we can absolutely help you. You can schedule a consultation. Our consultation fee is $275 for a 1 hour consultation, where we can really dig deeply into your the facts of your case and really give you some better guidance on what you should do. Because what we do here, we're getting pretty small snippets, just a few facts. It's really hard to reach any firm conclusions based on the small amount of facts that we get here. We do the best with these hypotheticals, but you really should make an appointment and have your case professionally analyzed, so you know that you're off on the right foot, that you're doing the right thing. Or you may decide that you'd rather not do any of it and you'd rather just have us do all of it for you so that you can relax. That would be the wisest choice, but we understand not everybody does that. But you should definitely make an appointment. I promise you that you're worth it. It's the most important thing you're doing. You don't want to get it wrong. You want to do it right the first time and never have to deal with it again. That's always my pitch.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right, so let's jump into questions. We'll take a couple of questions here.
Did we say hi to some of our special guests that are always with us? I know that my mom and my nephew Dan always join us, so I always like to give them a quick shout out at the beginning.
And my mom is always here, but she doesn't comment. So if family members are here, please say hello so we can give you a proper shout out.
My Aunt Sue.
Love our family members who support our live stream.
Yes, they've been with us from day one, which is pretty cool.
And it's been a couple of years now. So
more than 2 years. Yes.
More than 2 years. Actually, we're going on 3. Yep. It is February 2023, and we started this February of 2020 or 2019?
2020.
2020.
So
on my birthday, which is approaching. So will be our 3rd year.
4th year. So we did it 2020. We did it 2021. We did it 2022. We're now February 2023.
Ooh, wow. Okay,
Wow.
yeah.
I just had to do that math in my head. That's crazy.
No, wait, it wouldn't be
Okay.
4th year. Then we started in 2019.
No, because we started because it was right at the beginning. We're not quite there.
Got it.
We're
Okay.
next month. We started our first time we
I'm
did
so
it
confused right
was
now.
February of 2020.
Are you sure? Was it in 2019?
I'm positive.
We did it. We started at COVID.
At COVID. Was that 2020? It's 2020.
It was 2020. Anyway, all right, here we are.
Yeah. So
we will
my
get some
point was
questions.
just, yes, if you're counting them, it's 3, but I'm saying that we did it all of 2020. We did all of 2021 and we did it all of 2022. So we're just now starting into the 4th.
Right.
All right. Okay.
Fantastic. Now that we've got that and straightened out,
right.
Let's answer
really
some questions.
important.
Jasmine, we did not forget about you, although I don't have a direct answer for you. So the poverty guidelines 2023 have been released, but they have not yet been applied to the I-864P that USCIS uses. So yes and no. And when will they go into effect? I did about, like a 15-minute search of, hey, can I get the answer to this question without, spending super like long time on it. But I couldn't get a straight answer as to when USCIS puts the new poverty guidelines into effect as far as the 864P is concerned. So I couldn't go all the way and make a touchdown for you there, Jasmine, with regard to your question. But my tip is to have a little bit of wiggle room as far as if you have some wiggle room with your adjusted gross income, you may want to add more just in the event that they are seeking that affidavit of support and it goes up in the meantime. So I know that you wanted hard dates and hard numbers, but the new affidavit of support, poverty guidelines are out, but it's just that USCIS has not adopted them yet. They're still using 2022. All right. Olu Wasola. Hopefully I did that better. Hey, how's it going?
How's it going?
Thanks for
and
saying
before
hi.
I get a question on TikTok, I want to say hi to Sheldon here. This is cool. He says, hey guys, I love your show. I'm in Lynchburg, Virginia. And next week, Thursday, I have my citizenship interview at the Norfolk field office. Very excited. We're very excited for you. That is awesome.
Yeah, that's
fantastic. Good
that's
luck.
great. That's great.
That's great. Good for you.
They are going to be, I want to say that a lot of people are afraid of an interview. They're afraid of a marriage interview. They're afraid of a 751 interview. They're afraid of the NATS interview or any interviews that are where you're appearing before an immigration officer. And it is normal to be nervous, but generally speaking, the officers are trying to give you the benefit that you are seeking. They're not looking out to, not give the benefit. They're generally, I want to give this benefit today, and it looks like this person is eligible. So just being a little bit nervous, Sheldon, is normal, but don't be overly nervous. Just go in there positive you're going to get the benefit, right?
That's right.
Another tip I have is to go over your application. Just read over it or have someone read over the application with you and you answer the questions and do a little bit of interview prep there. I know it sounds silly, like, oh, have someone read the questions on the application. It's not silly. It's good practice. So good luck, Sheldon. Thank you so much for supporting the Facebook Live and the live stream.
It's always good to practice.
Yep, absolutely.
I remember the first opening statement that I ever had for a jury trial, like 20 years ago. And I had practiced it 1,000 times by myself in the conference room and I had it down. But boy, the second I stood in front of that jury, I suddenly was having trouble remembering what it was all about.
Yeah.
And it would have been really helpful to practice it actually in front of a group of people, not just a mirror. All right. That's my tip. Does that help any?
Absolutely. Yeah. It's practice. Practice. All right. Let's grab a TikTok question.
Yeah. So the question here is, my friend is in a process for asylum and got married with a U.S. citizen. Do you know if they can apply for the I-130 and I-485 at the same time? Is there a question?
I know that is a possibility. I do not know whether they specifically can apply, whether your friend is eligible for adjustment of status. You can have two processes going on at the same time with immigration, but they would need to give us a call and we can evaluate whether they are eligible for adjustment of status. So it's a really, really great question.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully your friend is looking into consulting with an immigration attorney. And if they want to consult with us, we would be happy to evaluate their case and see what they can
reach out to us. Our phone number is 757-464-9224, or you can reach us at info@gmlaw.net. We can maybe get our banner go over there.
Yeah,
and
sure.
we can get our information scrolling. If you, there it is.
This is high tech over here.
That's right.
So
that's right.
Amazing.
For those of you on TikTok, again, it's 757-464-9224. And we are Gardner and Mendoza, immigration law firm. And you can also reach us, email at info@gmlaw.net. All right. Or you can send a message through Messenger.
Yep. On Facebook. All right.
Okay.
So is it my turn?
It's your turn.
Okay.
I mean, you're
Richard,
answering them. But yeah.
Richard has a very good question. And I was like thinking about the answer to this question because I've never seen this question before. So Richard says, after K-1 approval, does the wedding need to be on U.S. soil? So Richard's fiance, they received the fiance visa and their passport, and they can now travel to the United States. So Richard and fiance can get married within 90 days. And maybe Richard is thinking, hey, can my fiance meet me in Mexico? We want to do a wedding in Mexico instead of the United States. That's a really good question. And I'm going to take a wag. I mean, it's not a wag. It's actually educated. But this is a good question. I don't know the law, right? As far as whether this can actually be done, but my educated guess, and again, Richard, this is not legal advice.
This is not legal advice.
Guys, you hear me? That they have to enter, and I'm saying they because I want to be gender neutral, right? So don't get confused. Your fiance will have to enter the United States, and you all will have to get married within that 90-day period. I'm saying that because if your fiance does not enter the United States, let's say your fiance is from the Philippines, and if they don't ever leave the Philippines or enter, then that fiance visa can expire, right? So if you get married before entering on the fiance visa, then they don't really have the status. And if you get married, then you now are no longer a fiance of a U.S. citizen, right? Prior to entering the United States, you are now the spouse of a U.S. citizen, and therefore that fiance visa is no longer valid. So I don't know of any exceptions to that, but if I were you, I would just have your fiance enter the United States, really kind of, you're basically putting that fiance visa into effect, and then you can get married. You have to get married within 90 days.
Yeah, he followed up. So if they enter and leave, then we are good.
Here is one of the problems with the fiance visa, right? One of the problems with the fiance visa is when you enter, you can leave, but you first have to do a few things like get married, file for that green card application. With that green card application, you file for your advanced parole so you can leave the country and have permission to come in. So with the fiance visa, you can't just enter and then leave because that is only valid for one entry. So trying to get all the families together. Yeah. Yeah, I hear you. So, Richard, this is going to cost you more money possibly, but you're going to have to just have two weddings.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
I just wouldn't risk it. And again, I haven't done any research as to, hey, can fiance come into the United States and then we can hop up? Like, just with that type of visa, you cannot do that. You cannot travel outside of the United States. So,
right. Some folks that have weddings, you hear about this all the time. People that have a wedding that was for legal purposes. And then sometime down the road, and a lot of times we'll just have people say, oh yeah, we didn't have any money. And later when we had more money, we decided to do the big wedding of our dreams at a later date.
Yeah. And we have a lot of that.
Yeah. Yeah.
You have the civil wedding, and then you have the big wedding when everybody can gather. And a lot of our clients actually, not believe, but that's what they consider to be their actual wedding, not the one before the
Right.
justice of the peace at the courthouse, but the one where they had an officiant and had all the family there and the friends. That's the one that is, they look to as their anniversary. But on paper, it's that time they went to the courthouse.
Yeah.
So
sometimes you have like nearly 375, 400 people all packed into the old Chamberlain Hotel ballroom.
yeah, right. Like our wedding.
Oh yeah, that was our wedding.
Friends,
Okay.
family, strangers, everybody.
All right.
All right. Richard, hopefully that helps.
Yeah.
Let us know. Let us know if that helps, or if you're just even more confused before you ask the question.
If you're more confused, you can call and schedule a consultation.
No visitor visa. Yeah, that's so. Richard, Richard says he follows up, and we're spending a lot of time with Richard because this is a good question. We have a lot of people who ask about the fiance visa, and whether they should get married. So, Richard, if you have not filed your fiance visa yet, the I-129F, then there are other. I mean, you may think about getting married instead of doing the fiance visa, and this is a very fact-specific determination, right? The question is, hey, should I do a K-1 or should I just get married and file the immigrant visa? Extremely fact-specific. But right now, the fiance I-129, okay, they've been waiting for 2 years, so this is kind of a moot point. But for other people who have not filed the I-129F,
right, that's always a big question for folks.
I mean,
how to go about this?
It's taking 15 and a half months right now for an I-129F approval. Richard is sitting here telling us that he's been waiting for 2 years for, I'm assuming, his I-129F to be approved. Like, that's nuts. That's just crazy. So, I mean, it's just tough right now with the fiance visa because of how long it's taking. And getting back to the point of the fiance visa, well, one of the benefits of the fiance visa, I say, that you filing the fiance visa, it was a faster road than filing an immigrant visa. But now they're about the same time frame. So why would you do that when you could, at the end of this process, have a immigrant visa where as soon as your spouse enters the United States, they are a lawful permanent resident. They can just leave the very next day and travel outside of the country. As soon as they come into the United States, they're eligible to work on an immigrant visa. So those are some of the considerations. If your fiance, if your spouse has, or your fiance has children, that we would have to take a look at that as well. So there are a lot of different things to consider. So please, if you have not filed the I-129F yet, please call us. And you're about to, we would have to take a look and see if that's the best thing for you. So Richard, I'm sorry you've been waiting for such a long time and you don't have an approval yet, it sounds like, but you've got to be close, right? Please tell us that you've got to be close. It's approved and you're getting ready to do NVC processing. So anyway. All right. Aunt Jill is here representing the Gardners.
Yes, I love that. There's my Aunt Jill checking in from South Florida. I always like to say from South Florida.
Hi, Aunt Jill and Uncle Frank. COVID delays. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Great question, Richard. Thank you.
Question, Richard.
Able to help a lot of people by asking that question.
All right. So we move over here to TikTok, and Chicks07 wants to know if says, can I file for citizenship after removing 2-year conditions? So I guess you're talking about a 2-year removing conditions on a green card.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So
yes, you can. You can file. Well, let me back up a little bit. As a lawful permanent resident, if you have a conditional green card and you are going through the process of removing those conditions and they have already been removed, chances are fairly doggone good that you have been a lawful permanent resident for at least 2 years and 9 months, that you have lived with your spouse, your U.S. citizen spouse, for at least 2 years and 9 months. Well, it's 3 actually. And that your spouse has been a U.S. citizen for at least 3 years. So let's just go 3. All right. So chances are that if you haven't approved, you've removed the conditions and now you have your 10-year green card, the chances are really good that those facts are there. And what that means is that for those applicants who N-400 applicants, naturalization applicants who meet those requirements, yes, you can file for citizenship because you have the time in as a lawful permanent resident. I hope that was not confusing to anyone. It was starting to get confusing to me, but let's talk about the fact that there are so many I-51s that are pending, and they've been pending for 1 year, 18 months, 2 years, 4 years. You can still file for U.S. citizenship, even though you have an I-751 pending that has not been approved yet, and you still have that 2-year card in your hand. You can still apply for U.S. citizenship so long as you are eligible to apply for U.S. citizenship as far as the time concerned and every other requirement for U.S. citizenship. So hopefully that makes sense. Thanks for asking that question, because it allowed me to just make sure that everyone out there who has a pending I-751, don't wait until your 751 gets approved before filing for U.S. citizenship if you're eligible for citizenship, right? If you've had your green card for at least 3 years, if you've been living with a U.S. citizen spouse for 3 years, if your U.S. citizen spouse has been a U.S. citizen for 3 years, like, don't wait for that I-751 to get approved, because USCIS has just issued, for these 751s being filed right now, they're going to be issuing a 4-year extension of your 48 months extension of your green card. Imagine all the people out there. There's going to be so many people who actually are waiting to file for U.S. citizenship because they didn't watch our live stream.
That's right.
And they didn't watch our TikToks, and they're just like, oh my gosh.
I can't believe I didn't do that.
My 751, it's taking forever. I can't apply for U.S. citizenship, and I really want to petition for my mom and my dad, and so they can come here and petition for the brothers, but I got to wait. You don't have to wait. Okay? All right. Enough on that.
Okay. And I scrolled it. I saw, if you can go back up there a little bit, Rosalie says, hello from your avid follower and supporter from the Bay Area.
Yes, Rosalie, how's it going? We say hello to Rosalie every Wednesday.
She has a question, which will be up next.
Yeah, and Rosalie knows that we were recently in San Francisco.
But we have to say it every time, I think.
Yes, we absolutely have to say it every time.
Last summer, we were in the Bay Area for family vacation. It was fantastic. We spent 4 days in San Francisco, and then we drove across California. We headed east over to Yosemite and spent 4 days at Yosemite. And what a great trip. I'm not a travel agent, but I would strongly, if you're looking for like a fun summer trip, highly recommend what we did. It was fantastic.
Highly recommend
Yeah, it was
Yosemite.
really
I mean,
cool.
San Francisco was really fun too, but
And it was a nice combo because you got some city action and then some hiking. And then we drove back to San Fran after the hiking was over in 4 days and then flew home. It was really a great trip.
yeah, it was. So love the Bay Area. Love the fog. What is the fog called again? Carl the fog.
Yeah, that's right.
All right. So we answered that, right?
Yeah, and I just want to say while you're looking at that, Mia said, "Can you see me, please?" Green card question here. Yeah, Mia, absolutely. But
what's the question?
Still don't see the question. Hello.
Hello. What's the question?
Yeah. Green question. If you can just get the question posted up here, we will absolutely get.
Or come on over to Facebook and post it in our comment section, and we'll see it easier.
That's right.
More easily. Oh, Jill's on the call and she's an English person, so we try not to make any grammatical errors. Remember that word that I forgot?
The subjunctive. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, you got to be careful with my Aunt Jill because she has impeccable grammar. She was an English teacher, so.
Okay, let's answer Rosalie's question here.
We have to be careful to make sure that we don't mess up adjectives or adverbs and so forth.
Yeah. Really good question from Rosalie from the Bay Area. I have a 67-year-old friend, green card holder. What a good friend you are to be asking this question for your friend. Would like to become a U.S. citizen, but the problem is she speaks, writes, and reads very little English. Can she become a U.S. citizen without taking an exam, or is she allowed to have an interpreter? So, Rosalie, it really does depend on how long your friend has been a lawful permanent resident. So, people who are age 65 or over and they have been a permanent resident for 20 years or more, then they are actually exempt from the language component of the naturalization exam. So they don't have to speak, understand, read, or write English. They're exempt from that, and they can have an interpreter. And so that could help your friend. Your friend would still have to study a specific designated test, which is, I believe she only has to study 25 questions, whereas everyone else has to study 100. So that's also helpful. But if she doesn't have the 20 years, if she's got 15, that also applies to her. She's exempt from the English, and but she has to take the full civics test, and she can take it in the language of her choice. So hopefully that helps, and that will help your friend. Let us know. Okay. So I'll grab Juan. He came from TikTok. Someone I know got caught and came back and doesn't remember if they took fingerprints. Can they check? Okay. So Juan, I'm assuming your question is, can your friend check if they got fingerprints done? Do a Freedom of Information Act request on your friend's entries into the United States and see what comes up on that. Yes, if that is your question. But there's no database for them to just kind of log into and put their name in and find that information out. All right. What else? What do we have here?
This is just a venting question that doesn't really have a specific answer, I don't think. But why is immigration taking so long for the I-601A?
Yes.
It's been 3 years and 2 months already.
That is awful.
That's an exasperated TikTok follower out there.
So I don't know why they're taking so long, but I do know who is can you read that name? I can see it. Lizeth. I do know that there is currently a lawsuit that you can actually join, a class action lawsuit. I believe it's a class action lawsuit. So I would do that if I were you, join the class action lawsuit. They are suing because they're suing USCIS, just basically focused on how long the 601As are taking. They went from, 6, 7, 8 months to now 3 years. I almost said freaking years. That's not professional though, but it's 3 whole years. I mean, it's insane. Anyway, So join the lawsuit. Lisette, if you want to join our Live Love Immigration group, I have not posted up about the lawsuit, but go join and I will post it up for you. Okay. Or you can even just Google also 601A lawsuit if you don't want to join our group, but you should. And you can vent there, and other people who are also disgruntled vent with you.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, immigration was already backed up, and then COVID it's just a backlog now that's.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. Are you up next over there?
No, I don't have questions here. I'm
Okay.
just scrolling.
We got another question. It says, this is interesting. I love passport and minor when I came to the U.S. Able to use my mom's passport to prove my
Lost my passport.
So this person lost their passport. Maybe just more general.
Yeah.
What were the options?
Let's just say, is that what it is? Yeah, is for adjustment of status. And Yai's need proof that she entered the United States. The question is, and I'm reading into this question, on the passport, there's a stamp on it that shows your, like the date that you entered, if it's if they stamped it at the airport. Sorry. So the question is, as a minor, can you use mom's passport to show the entry? Then if you had your own passport, their purpose of what I'm explaining here, they will not have stamped your mom's passport of own particular entry. So what you may have to do, if this is what you're talking about, and again, I'm making a bunch of assumptions, what you would have to do is apply for a reprint of your I-94 if you're given an I-94, which you entered with inspection, then you'd have to apply for a replacement of I-94. We're actually helping someone. I mean, we help people periodically, help people get a new I-94 proof of entry, just because you need to have proof of entry in order to apply for adjustment of status. So hopefully that helps, and that's pertinent to your question.
All right. I don't know if you saw that one right there or not.
Mike. Okay. Sometimes I miss the questions.
Yeah, I wasn't sure. I apologize.
Okay. Can you give a current ones for EB interview, employment-based interview in Manila? I have not looked those up recently. Mike, DQ'd February 2023. I do not have any sense of how long they're taking with EB cases right now. Sorry, Mike. You can look and report back to you. All right.
Okay. Kwame Flex here wants to know, he's just a statement of won a DV lottery in 2021, never had an interview.
Ooh.
So I'm guessing that there's not a question there, but I'm guessing there's concern.
Yeah. Sorry to hear that. We don't do too much DV, but I know there are we don't do DV at all. But I know that there are very, very time limits as to when you apply and when you can enter. And I'm sorry if you never got a notification and missed an opportunity. But I couldn't tell you whether it's a lost cause now. It's 2 years. So, but beyond that,
yeah,
not legal. Not because we're straight up saying, hey, we don't do DV.
Right.
Immigration law is extremely broad. I mean, there's so many. Yeah, there are so many subsets.
There are some immigration types of cases that we don't do at all. That's true.
Yep.
All right.
Okay, let me grab. Meryl says, "Hi, day for both of you guys. I wonder how long 824 takes. Can I do anything to speed it up?" Oh my gosh, 824 takes a while, Meryl. Sorry to say. And what is a while? So most recent processing time can be found by Googling USCIS processing times. Okay. And what you can do is in the first box, scroll down and put the form number. And this is for anyone who is looking to look up time frames. So you go to the 824 and you put in, and then you put form category. It's to further action on an approved application or petition. And then where that application is, field office it is. So if it's in California, then they're processing those in forms. If at the national, maybe they've decreased the time. National benefits is 4.5 months.
Nebraska.
Yeah, I feel like these are cases are to Nebraska. It's 18 months. I don't think they're all going to Nebraska. I redact that. It's 13 months, and Vermont Service Center, it's taking 15 months. So your 824 is at one of the centers, and that's how you look at it. And I just did it while we were here.
And it's advising that 80% cases are completed in that time frame. So
that's how
it may be outside.
That's how these processing times are going to look. Right. Hopefully that helps.
And if you didn't follow that, and just so everybody, these Facebook Lives, when we're done, they're still on our Facebook page. You can go back anytime and rewatch them. And, you know, done this before with things. You watch a little bit, pause it, and go back to get, you know, until you get it.
Yeah. And for those who are rewatching or just watching the recording, hello, and thank you for watching the recording.
Yeah, that's hello to all of you just watching the recording.
Yes, or not live.
We know you weren't here last week on February 8th.
You're right. But there's some good stuff. We've already answered some good questions.
And for those of you who are just joining us, it's probably not a bad idea to reintroduce ourselves. I'm John Gardner. This is my wife and law partner, Radler Mendoza. We're the immigration law firm Gardner and Mendoza. And we do this every Wednesday from 8 o'clock to 9 o'clock. You bring your questions, your hypotheticals, and we try to answer them. I will warn you, it's not legal advice. What we do here is for educational and informational purposes only. And you can reach out to us. Our information is on the Facebook feed here. But if you're on TikTok, our phone number is 757-464-9224, or you can email us info@gmlaw.net.
Yes, we would love to talk to you. We would love to consult with you on immigration.
Yeah, absolutely. We've helped thousands. I was going to throw out an exact number, but I'll keep it at just thousands.
Thousands upon thousands.
Thousands upon thousands. Yes, that's right.
Well, I mean, we've been in business since 2000, the year 2000. That's 22 years.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a long time. And I was late in renewing my membership. So by a few days, and I renewed the membership of my American Immigration Lawyers Association membership, and have been a member there for 21 years. That's nuts.
Wow.
All right. Let's see here.
Want to grab one over there? You want me
Bean. Right. Bean says, can you still apply for citizenship if you find out that you owe taxes? Yes, you can still file for citizenship even if you find out that you owe taxes. Get on a payment plan, start paying that back, or just pay it back. And you should be good. We have had clients who are on a payment plan with IRS, and they have to show their payment plan, that they're actually paying it back, and they have been okay with filing for citizenship. That all said, this is not legal advice.
Right.
All right.
And I don't have a lot of experience. I know that there are also firms out there, not law firms necessarily, but tax folks who will help negotiate a quick settlement with the IRS where you can pay some smaller amount than what you owe if you pay it within a certain amount of time. So you may want to look into that as well if you're feeling uncomfortable about it. Okay. Let's see. Another question here about how long is it taking to appeal an I-290B in Vermont. I've been waiting for 2 years.
Oh, yikes. That's terrible. That sounds a little long, but
Yeah.
I mean, I haven't checked processing times. We do file motions to reopen and 290B appeals, but I don't know if I've ever had one take 2 years. So if you have had assistance from an attorney, then please reach out to your attorney.
Right. If you
Is it 2 years, really?
That's what he said. If you've not had assistance from an attorney, then you need to call us immediately, like tomorrow. As a matter of fact,
Call us.
I'll be waiting. I'm laughing. The last time that there was somebody, it was last week, I think.
It was a couple of weeks ago.
And they said that a couple of weeks ago, gave her facts, and I said, "Oh, problem. You need to absolutely call us immediately. I will waiting for your call tomorrow." I was just joking, of course, but then she called and booked an appointment, and that we're going to be able to help, which is fantastic. All right.
Okay, yeah, grab a call. I need to make a text.
All right, so all right, we've got, sorry about this. We've just got a lot of, it's not really in a spam, but it's just when folks put the same question over and over. And so, all right, we finally get here. Sandy wants to know, does filing 140 of the OPT filing?
I mean, I would attorney. I mean, the issue is the intent. One is a non-immigrant category, the other is immigrant. So timing is important there. I would check back with your attorney and make sure that that's all good. But the timing, I would pay attention to the timing.
All right, and said, "Thank you, ma'am."
You're very welcome.
You're
all right.
Welcome.
So Dina has a question. I was born in Palau in 1987. Am able to be a U.S. citizen. So Dina, we have worked on these cases, but every time it's, like every 7 years, right? So there's all information that we would need in order to determine your eligibility. So I would make an appointment and you can take a look at that. But it's something that our team has to every single time, just because we do it every day.
Yeah, and for those of you who, well, that's, I don't need to get into it. This is the question, and we'll move on.
Yes.
I was going to add more about, interesting case you can get citizenship where you realize it. But all right. All right. Yeah, I'm reading that. A little frisky.
Like that.
Little frisky wants, so can I get a travel parole done if my removal proceeding is administratively closed?
Possibly. Do you have the? I mean, look. Here's the thing. Can the document? Can you apply for? Did you apply for adjustment of status now pursuant to vacation? I mean, you can't even apply for adjustment if it's administrative. You would have to. You can't get approved. You would have to have it terminate your removal proceeding terminated. So this is not your question, but can you? Yes, you can apply for anything you want. Will you approve for it? I don't know. I know what the basis is of what your what is the base of your filing the advanced parole. So I would need more information to adequately answer that. You're very welcome.
Mm-hmm.
So, couple of options. You give us a call, make an appointment, take a look at your case. You can find another immigration who can, so you can also go with, but questions that, yeah, you want to get the answer, right? Like,
Right.
not only do you want an answer to the question, but you want someone to help you. You want a professional to help with your case, right? Like if you're filing for a just status because you now have a administrative closed removal, are you sure you can do that? Because I don't know about it. I don't think so. I mean, you can apply for anything, but whether it's going to get approved, that's a completely different story. I mean, but there are some circumstances, like, right, if you you got parole. I mean, there's a lot going on here that I can relate about what's going on.
And if you have a question, if you have questions about this, then that in and of itself is a very thing that you really should reach out into a professional. And of course, a lot of immigration lawyers out there. If you want to go visit, that's like right down the street, fair enough. But make sure it is somebody who professional. You really ought to just. We've been doing this for 20 years, and we have an entire team that will assist you with this. So, yeah, give us a call, schedule a consult, and let us help you. That's my advice to everyone.
This is actually real advice. It's not advice.
That's right.
It's just
that is advice.
It's just advice. It's fatherly advice.
It's fatherly advice.
Yes.
If we have 3 daughters. If one of my just said I got married to somebody in the Philippines, France, or wherever, and they wanted to stay there or go there, and they had a question about immigration, I would say you need to talk to a French immigration lawyer, find out what you need to make sure you do it right. I wouldn't say, oh, honey, why don't you spend 3 weeks crawling through Google to figure out what the option. Just call and get it done right.
Right. And not that you guys ask, but a lot of people say, well, I can afford it. And to that, you can't afford not to. You really can't. I mean, somebody asked about an H4, and you see how long these A24s are taking. Well, if you check the wrong box on your I-130, you're going to have an A24, and that could delay your case for another 18 months, right? So what is 8 months? Your loved one, your family member, gets to the United States 8 months sooner, and they make $40,000 a year. I mean, you got to look at it in terms of just the whole, it's like seeing it all the way through and what it actually means, you know. Anyway, well, there.
Right. And I see my mom, will Ray be making a cameo tonight? Yes, I assume that will.
Hopefully.
Yeah, at 9 o'clock, our youngest daughter always comes up to tell us basically that we're because she wants to eat. So, we stop. Okay. Let's see. Jamapone wants to know.
Yes, please read.
Can you travel with advanced parole even if you've overstayed a visitor visa for?
I don't answer travel questions.
Yeah, we get a lot of travel questions, and Radlin is right. This is really like gray stuff that we don't.
Well,
people ask us questions like,
it's not gray. I mean, I know what the answer is, but we don't answer travel questions. It's like, yeah, go travel outside the United States using your advanced parole. Great idea. I'm telling you guys that this is not good advice. John has told you it's good advice, but someone's going to just go out and say, yeah, I said go travel. I would never do that. It's way too risky. please talk to an immigration attorney about that question.
I mean, that one,
Whether
wasn't-
you leave the States, you know?
One about gray areas, we have a lot of people that have questions like, "Oh, I'm here unlawfully,
Yeah.
and I have my driver's license from my other country. Do you think I should travel?" And it's like, do you want to risk that? You want to go get on a plane with that? I don't know. That's up
Yeah.
to you. I'm not going to go tell you to go get an airplane if you're using a license from some other identification. My recommendation would be
Yeah. And
not to weigh in on that.
And even with our clients, and I'm not going to actually going into that, but just be careful.
Yeah.
Janet says, I will answer this question. Can I still travel in the Philippines while waiting for U.S. citizenship? Yes, the answer is yes. One of the misconceptions is that when you file an N-400 application, when you file a naturalization application, you have to remain in the United States while that process is pending. That's not. You can take a little short trip to the Philippines if you want. You can leave the country. You're not for a short period. You're not going to mess up your citizenship. We're talking about a short trip here. We're talking about less than 6 months. So don't go leave in the country for over a year. That's not going to work.
Right.
Janet, I know you're not going to leave the country for over a year. Look, it looks like you have kids, and what are you going to just leave them for a whole year? No.
And just when we said we wouldn't answer travel questions, here they all come. Another one. Can I travel outside the U.S. while my I-751 is in process?
Look, I'm not answering. We're not answering advanced parole out of status travel questions.
No more. That's it.
The I-751 question. What was the question?
Can I travel outside of the United States while my I-751 is in process?
Yeah, you can travel outside of the United States while your I-751 is in process, so long as you have a receipt that shows that your LPR is extended and it's within the time frame of extension, right? If you leave and your extension letter has expired and so therefore your green card expired, then no, you shouldn't. But so that's why I don't like to answer travel questions.
Yeah.
Because, y'all might forget to look at the dates, right?
Yeah, traveling is sometimes risky. You may find yourself stuck. Yeah,
generally speaking, though, the question that Janet has, it's a lot of people think they cannot travel while the N-400 is pending, but you can. And Janet, that's the same with you. I mean, it also goes without saying that you don't have an expired lawful permanent resident card. You don't have any crimes that will prevent you from coming back into the United States that would make you inadmissible. I mean, see, this is the reason that we don't. But again, it's just a misconception. This is generally speaking. Like, for example, if Janet, I'm just using an example. Janet does not have marijuana convictions, guys. Okay, but I'm going to use Janet as an example. If, hypothetically speaking, Janet had possession of marijuana charges, okay, convictions. Let's say she had 3 of them prior to the legalization, and she left the country, she would be inadmissible. She wouldn't be able to come in without a waiver.
Right.
And there's only actually maybe not even a waiver because she's got 3 charges. So again, because you're applying for U.S. citizenship, I'm making an assumption, and it might even be a wrong assumption, that you are eligible you don't have a criminal record history, and you would not be inadmissible upon entry. Jenna's just like, oh my gosh, I'm never asking a question again. She just went off on a tangent. But, there are people out there who have applied for U.S. citizenship. They might have a marijuana possession conviction or charge, and if you travel outside of the United States, U.S. citizen, N-400 application pending or not, you're going to be in trouble. So.
Wow, look at this name.
All right, you want to answer Erlinda's. Erlinda Cortez de Leon.
Mm-hmm.
So my mom's name is Erlinda de Leon.
Mm-hmm.
Maiden. Same name. We could be related.
I'm sure you are.
All right. I am 81 years old, immigrant. If I apply to be a U.S. citizen, should I get the oral and written exam? Thank you. So, Miss Erlinda, as I was telling someone before, you will have special considerations because you are over 55. And so you would be exempt from the English requirement. So you would not be able to, you would not have to speak, understand, or read or write English. I'm sure you can do things, but you are exempt from all of those things. If you have been a lawful permanent resident for 20 years or more, then you will be able to study a shortened version of the civics test. So I hope that helps. And if you do apply for U.S. citizenship, congratulations. And we'd be happy to help you with that. We would love to help you.
All right. Julicious Me says the K1 is so lengthy, frustrated.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, it's terrible.
It is. And then we had a question back here about generation, like RFE. If you talk about what that is and what the time frames are,
Yeah,
if there's
sure.
a request for evidence.
Yeah, absolutely. So a request for evidence, USCIS will send out a request for evidence if you have filed your application and they need more information. Okay. So a request for evidence is nothing to be alarmed about. In fact, you're happy you're getting a request for evidence instead of a denial, right? Or notice of intent to deny. It's a good thing that you're getting an RFE. Right now, due to COVID provisions, there is a deadline on your RFE. Okay. So let's say you got the RFE, you have 87 days to answer the RFE. And let's just say your deadline is March 1st, 2023. Well, because of COVID provisions, you can add on 60 days to that deadline. And that's now when it is due. So hopefully that helps. It does help to have more time on the RFE. They should just change 87 plus 60 and just change it to 147. Is that 147 days? But that's how much time you have to answer it. Now, please just don't send it on the day before, okay? Because a lot of you guys are going to send your RFE out and you might send it through USPS, but it's not going to get there in time. It has to get there before the deadline, not postmark before the deadline, but get there before the deadline.
Okay, I see here real quick. Dance Forever for You came in late and wanted to know what time and days we're live. Just a reminder, we do this every Wednesday night from 8 o'clock until 9 o'clock, with some exceptions. We will not be here next Wednesday, but most Wednesdays from 8 o'clock until 9 o'clock. Dance Forever for You. And Claire says, thank you so much. You're welcome, Claire.
You are very welcome. So yeah, 8 to 9. We're not going to be here on Wednesday because John's mom is coming to visit us.
Yeah, looking forward to that.
We're going out to dinner. And here's Ray. Here's our timekeeper. Ray, what's up?
Time for dinner.
Time for dinner.
I told you. I literally
say hi to Granny.
Hi, Granny.
Anyway, guys, awesome questions tonight.
Yeah, great questions.
Thank you all for your support. Please like and follow our page and share it if you think this information could be helpful to your friends and family. And for those on TikTok, thank you so much for supporting our TikTok. We have 24,000 followers on TikTok, and that is awesome and amazing. And we just keep it coming. Thank you.
If you have more questions, schedule a consultation. We will see you in 2 weeks at 8 o'clock.
Yep.
All right,
2
everyone.
thumbs up.
All right, 2 thumbs up.
See you guys.
Have a great night.
Thank you.
Bye, guys.
Ray's out of